Buggy the Clown will be the next king of the pirates. Now, as we all know, Buggy the Clown, aka my personal goat, has found himself as one of the top contenders to become the next pirate king. Whether through sheer luck, skill, or the will of Oda himself, Buggy has consistently raised through the ranks of a pirate through unconventional means. He became a warlord due to his own personal marketing and public perception after the War of the Best, which then snowballed him into the position that he is in today, where for better or for worse, he is a Yonko and the leader of the crew that Crocodile and Mihawk are under. Like, seriously speaking, Buggy has already carved himself into a piece of pirate history with Cross Guild. 3 former warlords, one of which being the world's greatest swordsman, and the leader being a former subordinate of the former pirate king. Not to mention the whole putting bounties on marines thing. Yeah, it's pretty safe to say that Cross Guild is a story that'll be told among pirates until the end of pirate time. And I think the story of how Buggy the Clown rose to king of the pirates will be no different. So how? Well, I have 2 plausible ways that this could happen. First of which being the most simple, Buggy actually reaches Laugh Tale first. Now, to be honest, I think that this is the least plausible way that Buggy would become Pirate King. Just feels a little bit too on the nose. No pun intended. But lately in the story, we have seen that Buggy's will to become Pirate King and to find Laugh Tale has been reinvigorated. And there is not a doubt in my mind that Buggy will eventually reach Laugh Tale. Mostly because I think it would be incredibly sad if Buggy and Shanks never actually made it to Laugh Tale and ended up seeing what their captain had seen that made him burst into laughter and tears. Now, whether or not they'll reach it alone or together or even with Luffy, Yonko Alliance, ... It is very possible, and it is something that we know the world government has feared, Yonkos coming together and making an alliance. That's why every time the Yonkos even meet, it's like major news to the world government. Like, Shanks and Whitebeard couldn't even share a drink without the government knowing about it. They do not want these niggas together. So yeah, I 100% think that Buggy will eventually land on Laugh Tale. But I do not think that is how Buggy will become the Pirate King. Which leads me to my second scenario. Public perception. Now, the title of Pirate King is actually something that has always been closely attached to public perception. If you remember correctly, it was actually the news and the world itself that crowned Roger as the Pirate King once he conquered the Grand Line. Which of course set the precedent that to become the next Pirate King you would have to find the One Piece and reach Laugh Tale. Which is true to an extent, but who really put these rules in place? I mean, it's not like finding the One Piece automatically would grant you the title of Pirate King. Because if that's the case, what happens if, like, I don't know, the Marines find it? Is Kobe the Pirate King now, nigga? Despite not being a pirate? That just doesn't make sense. You can see what I'm getting at here. The title of Pirate King is something that has been very loosely defined, and from what we're aware, is only granted to you by the public when they perceive you as such. So what if you didn't have to find the One Piece to become the Pirate King? Pushy, what do you mean? What if a man pulls off a task, or is at least perceived to pull off a task, so unbelievable to the world that they start to refer to the pirate who pulled it off as the Pirate King, granting them sort of a pseudo Pirate King title, but not achieved through the traditional way that we perceive as becoming Pirate King. This is exactly what I think will happen with Buggy. I think that an event is going to happen that Buggy will inevitably be accidentally involved in, that he is perceived as causing, making the world genuinely look at him as the current #1 pirate, granting him the title of King of the Pirates among the public's eyes. Sorta like how Usopp achieved the title of God Usopp on Dressrosa. Buggy has this exact same type of clout, just on a way larger scale. We've seen time and time again Buggy manage to convince people that he is somehow a god among pirates, the actual chosen one that'll usher in the new era, and I genuinely don't think that it is that hard to believe that Buggy will manage to pull this off with the entire world. Now, I don't think that Crocodile and Mihawk would be too thrilled about this, and he probably wouldn't retain the title for very long after, inevitably ends with Luffy actually becoming the King of the Pirates through, actually finding the One Piece. But I do think for however brief of a period, Buggy will be referred to as the Pirate King. Now, what would Buggy do that would grant him this title? Well, that's something that I have theorized since the introduction of Emu and the Empty Throne. What do I mean by this? Well, going back to my Yonko Alliance theory, I think that the raiding of Mary Joie and the Red Line is a very plausible thing that could happen in One Piece. And I also think that somehow, someway, Buggy will be there. And somehow, through the will of Oda and plot armor itself, Buggy will end up sitting on the Empty Throne. No bullshit. Now, I think it'll probably happen, like, accidentally somehow. But imagine the headlines and the shock of the world if they heard that a man had the goal to sit on the empty throne that's very existence signifies that the world has no king, therefore accidentally declaring himself the king of the world, an act of defiance so great that the public perceives Buggy as the greatest pirate since his late captain, Gold D. Roger. And albeit, probably for a very short time, Buggy would acquire the title, at least in the public's eyes, of Pirate King, giving Buggy D. Clown a Buggy D. crown. See what I did there? And he would do so by sitting on the empty throne, accidentally declaring himself as God of the world, as he once promised Luffy that he would be if Luffy became King of the Pirates. Circling all the way back, because just like Usopp, we know Buggy's bullshit always comes true. And that's my Buggy theory. Leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys later.